Okay, welcome to day 2 of the Town of Austin budget meetings. Today we have planning and zoning with John Turnquist joining us from our building department.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So just as a reminder, this is being recorded and we're gonna be putting it on to YouTube, just to give a heads up. So we're gonna first start off with the planning and zoning, I guess, first, and then we'll move on to the building. Share. Okay. Well, for planning and zoning, for the salaries, we're gonna begin with 10% of Sandy's and 10% of Margaret's salary being charged here, which brings us to the $13,178. Overtime, we have budgeted at $1,000, followed by any publication of legal notices at $500, printing and postage at $400, conferences for the ZBA member training at $1,000, and then stenographer and translator services at $500. Next up, we have planning for, we have 15% of Sandy's salary charged here at $10,928. For overtime, we have budgeted $4,000. Nothing for part-time as we do not have a part-timer. Equipment at $150. Nothing for contractual. For publication of legal notices at $600. And printing and postage we have here are lease for Pitney Bowes, which just began this year, and Sandy did let me know that it was received and everything seems to be working fine. The
Yes,
new postage machine.
working good, yes,
Yes.
thank you.
So we have that at $117.48 per quarter, which brings us to $470, and any other postage related charges of $2,030, which brings us to $2,500. Next up, we have our office and supplies expense at $500, professional dues and meetings at $500. And that is going to include our New York Planning Federation dues, half of it, West Municipal Planning Federation dues, and any other additional training that may be needed. Conferences for planning board member training at $1,000. Consulting services for Nelson Pope and Voorhees, as well as CRC's on escrow at $18,500 for total. Nothing following the next line, and then for the stenographer and translator services at $500. And the big four is just leaving us with our totals.
Yeah.
So any questions or comments for planning and zoning?
Any questions, John? You good?
Yeah, all good, everything seems to be good.
I know we worked it out in the first version, so. Thank you.
So next up, we have building. So building here, we're gonna have our full-time salaries, which is gonna include Sandy's and Margaret's minus that 15 and 10%. That is charged at the different lines that we saw in planning and zoning, which brings our total to $122,672. Next up, we have our overtime. We don't have anything budgeted here, but we did have it in those other lines. Longevity, we have Sandy and Margaret with a total of $1,750. Our sick pay incentive at $2,000. Our health stipend at $5,250. And next, our part-time for John Turnquist at $61,612. Apologies, I think that was cited.
Concern.
Signature, yes. Next up, we have equipment at $2,000. We don't have anything for the equipment for vehicles. Next, we have trees contractual at $2,000. Our telephone, which includes the cable vision / light bill, light path bill, as well as John Turnquist telephone bill, for a yearly total of $1,200. Printing and
Is life path gonna change? Did we have that conversation?
They're looking, I sent it to Christina to take a look at. Currently it is light path and what they're proposing is still light path. You know, for a renewal, but I'm not sure where we are in that. But I don't think our
You think we're
current,
good then?
I think we're good. I don't think our current one expires until the end of next year. I think there's.
So it wouldn't be this budget year, I
I
guess.
think they're just being cut.
Yeah, and this is usually what we get from the village invoice to us.
Right, I understand, but LifePath has been reaching out to update and
Yeah.
change their rates, so I want to make sure that our budget reflects that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and then that's why I'm asking Dale, not you.
So printing, so we have office and supplies, printing and postage at $550. Office and supplies expense at $700. Our maintenance for equipment and leases, so we have a copier lease. We do have you guys getting a new copier next year, sometime next year, but we'll be sending more information for that. But we do have budgeted for it. We have seen a bit of an increase here and there with the other previous copiers that we've got new this year, as well as municipal train maintenance, which brings the total to $12,400. Constable and security services at $200.
Do you have a question, John? Do you have a question?
No,
Oh,
the new
okay.
copy would be great.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we're reaching the end of the contract, so we'll get the new one next year, but we'll send you more information when that time comes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next we have professional dues and meetings, and that includes our NYSBOC dues, our International Code Council, our Westchester Fire Marshals, and any other at $800 budgeted. Next up, we have conferences at $150, unleaded fuel at $500, our ink service training at $1,000, and that includes the Westchester Fire Marshals as well as NYSBOC classes and any additional training. Building inspector vehicle parts at $800, books at $100. And next up, we have the intermunicipal rent for next year at $20,738 annually.
Okay.
Next page brings us just to the yearly totals. And next up, we have our revenues on page 5. For safety inspection fees, we have anticipated at $110,000. Other public safety departments, we don't, yeah, we're not expecting anything there, thank you. And then we have zoning fees at $1,000. Planning board fees, at $2,000. And nothing, yet for the planning consultant fees. And that's the total for billing. Any questions or comments?
I'm good with everything.
Perfect.
Just charge your electric, that hybrid car of yours. Don't use any gas.
Yeah, it helps a lot, actually. So far, everything's been good with it.
You're free, Matt. Continuing our 2025 budget hearings, we are here with our highway superintendent and cemetery superintendent, Pete Connolly, to look at the highway and the cemetery budgets. Proposed budgets.
Okay, so first we're gonna start with the sewer page, yes, the park sewer page. So we don't have anything for overtime, out of title work, telephone. For electricity, we have $4,000 budgeted. And then for repairs and maintenance equipment, we have all makes, Marshall alarms, national standby, any other emergency for a total of $1,300. And these are for the sewer stations. For the station.
11,000.
11,000, I'm like,
Thank you.
$11,300.
Okay,
My apologies, man.
does that match? We went over this year. We've been having, is that because of the,
Things are charged here that should not be charged here. That we'll have to do a reclass entry to move them out. Because I think they were supposed to go to regular parks, 7110, not 7112. So I'm running a report right now, and we'll fix that with the adopted budget.
Okay, and part of that is for the new sewer connection, I'm assuming, so we don't have to duplicate it for next year, Pete? Or, yeah,
What was that list? I'm sorry.
this, we have some extra expenditures for this year in the sewer budget, and a couple were misclassed, but I think there might be one for the new sewer connection, but you're not expecting any big projects coming up for sewers this year, right?
No.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're gonna go to page 3. Okay, so for page 3, we have the salaries of Pete and Diana, and 10% of them for both Pete and Diana is charged to the sewer district, which brings our total to $138,067. Nothing budgeted for longevity yet. For the sick pay incentive, we have it at $1,000. A health stipend at $5,000, as Diana does not take our health insurance, so she waives it. Next up, we have our part-timers, so so we have removed the part-timer line as that's not needed, has been asked to be removed as it's not needed for 2025. So that has been budgeted for 0. Equipment, general equipment at $4,000. Next up for our contracts, we have ARCO cleaning at $405 a month. So that brings us to $4,860. For the telephone at $3,520. And that covers cable and internet, office telephone bills, and as well as Pete and Diana's cell phone. For electricity at $6,875. Printing and postage at $200. Office supplies, and this includes the first aid kit we stock and any other office supplies at $3,000.
Includes Cintas.
First aid kit, yeah, so that would be fantastic. Maintenance of office equipment and leases. So you guys are scheduled to get a new copier sometime next year in 2025. So we'll be more in contact when that comes. But we roughly budgeted for $110 a month, and so that's going to bring it to $1,320.
Is that in a contract
Yes,
with the
that-
rest of our offices? Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so that should be coming in, and we've budgeted a little bit over because the price has gone up for the ones that
Okay.
we've gotten this year.
Mhm.
Next up, we have professional dues and meetings at $900. Conferences at $750. Labor council at $11,500. We have our water charges. This is where the Village of Barca's water bills is paid, and that's going to be at $500. Books we have at 0, and capital improvement expenses at $1,000.
Commenting on how much Barca charges for water.
So that's that page. On to the next page, we have for street maintenance. So this is where we have the salary over Teamsters, with the foreman's 10% of the salary being charged to the sewer fund, which we'll see later on. Which brings our total for $658,071. At overtime, we have budgeted at $39,500. For longevity, we have our different Teamsters at varying different levels of longevity. And then
Wait, I just want to add that we took the part-time fund and put it into your overtime fund as requested.
How much of the part-time fund?
It
for the part-time fund,
14.
was 14.5 and we moved it over into your overtime fund here. So we went from the
Oh, that-
25,000 over to the 39,500.
The part-time out of administration.
Yeah.
Right, and put it into your
Okay.
overtime as you requested.
Okay, good.
so longevity, we have at $5,725. Out of title work at $13,000. Sick pay incentive is at $4,000. Next up, we have, so part-time work, we have down 2 seasonal employees at $17 an hour, 40 hours per week, 12 weeks per season. So it's roughly, if you want to do them equally, it'll be 3 months per season. And we have that at $32,640.
All right. Think one, are we able to move that up to 18 as Pete requested or no? And Pete, are you okay with the 3 months?
Not really. I prefer the 4 and 4. Always did.
All right,
Not that, as I explained, the work is out there, and those guys help us a lot, especially during leaf season, and they do the road cutting and flagging, whatever else we need them for, cover for vacations, sick time.
all right, so if you had to choose between the 18 and the extra month, what would you pick? And I'm not sure I can give you either, but we'll look at trying to.
No, I'd have I would go with the extra month, please, for each
If we
one.
could,
So we'd add 4 more months.
so 2 months, you'd add 2 months. Well,
Well, it'll be
or
4
four,
months in
yeah,
total.
4,
Yeah,
yeah.
4
4
months in
months.
total.
All right, we'll look at the math when we're all done with our numbers and see what we can do.
Yeah, but it's 8 months total for the year.
Right,
Right, okay. I know, but you mentioned.
2
4
4-month
8
stretch.
months
Right,
each, so
yeah,
it's
with 2
two,
guys.
4-month
it's
stretch.
2 extra
Yeah.
months for 2
Yes.
guys would be,
Correct.
4 extra
One
months.
extra month for, yeah, well, 2,
Yeah.
but together,
For
okay,
resources. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I get it.
I tried
Yeah.
taking it double because then I only do the math for one, and then I'm
Right.
like, wait, I'm sure it.
Okay, no promises, but we'll look.
Okay,
Next up, we have our telephone line, and this is for the highway foreman telephone at $480. Unleaded fuel at $18,000. Diesel fuel at $23,000. Maintenance of repairs in buildings and grounds at $15,000. Road material and maintenance, and this is for the drainage at $25,000, and the guardrails have been removed. Road paving at $25,000. In-service training at $6,500. That includes, the training includes our PESH mandated training, our dig safe training, and also confined space training, which staff has already completed for the year, so we've got that checked off. We just got our general training left for everybody.
Right.
Bottled charges, so this is where we're gonna be charging all the bottled water for the workers, so we moved it from the other previous line to here,
Mhm.
so that brings us to $2,500. And capital improvement expenses, nothing budgeted out in there.
And
Okay, up, we go to page 9. This is for our highway and machinery. So we have the salary of our auto mechanics there, our lead and our assistant, which brings our total to $181,561. Overtime at $1,000. Our longevity for one of our mechanics at $875. Equipment at $25,000. And parts and labor, which includes just general, at $135,000. Up to page 10, this for the highway garage at $4,500. Heat at $15,700. Water, oh my gosh, materials and supplies at $2,500. Maintenance and repair of the building and grounds at $14,000. And nothing here for the water charges, as all the water charges went to the previous line. Use it to make it much simpler.
That whole line is out now, right? Did we?
well, it was merged with the,
With
the
the
one
other, right,
previously, yeah.
Okay,
So all the water's being charged to
Yeah.
one line.
yes.
And next up, we have weeds and brush. So here we have equipment at $2,000. Our uniforms so we have 9 employees, that get uniforms at $600 each, which brings our total to $5,400. Repair and maintenance equipment at $2,500. Tree planting and maintenance, and this includes our tree removal and our arborist at $50,000. on it.
Okay, nope, got it.
No, okay. Next up, we have page 12, we have our snow removal. This is overtime at $80,000. Nothing here for longevity. Idle title work at $6,000. Contractual at $1,000. Materials and supplies at $400. Salt at $80,000.
How are we doing with salt so far?
Oh, God, plenty of salt. I can't even take delivery. We have no place to put it, and you're required to take a minimum each season, right there, you know, and,
Do we have a
Trying to
place
find-
we can put it? Or-
I already have it
Or
to
a
the
friend
right,
that can hold it for us?
I have it to, I already have it to the right of the salt shed with a tarp.
Mhm.
It is what it is, you know, I'll try to find some other spots, and then I'm up against, this year's, total too. So
Can
nobody,
we,
nobody's wishing for a good, you know, big
Everybody's
winter, but,
And everybody's in the same situation, right, all around us too.
yeah.
Nobody
they're
has
all
extra
fine.
spots, I'm
Right,
sure,
no, we,
Because of
yeah,
the weather.
talk about it at the superintendent's luncheons and every, you know,
Right.
it's, everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
And,
What-
we
what's-
did pay one bill, I believe, for storage.
Mm,
Yeah, I forget what it was, I think it was, I don't know.
I mean, I don't
800.
want to put it in places it shouldn't be either, so.
Well, that's got a lot, you know, and it is covered with a tarp, just like the salt shed is, but yeah, so we'll see what it brings.
What's our minimum?
Forget the tonnage now, but, yeah, I can let you know later. I don't know the exact, but yeah,
Mm,
it just wasn't used last year, yeah. Couple of 30-hour ones, but that was it. It was warmer, you know.
That's, I'm good with that, but,
Are you committed to the salt and you have? to pay
all
it?
right, well,
Sometimes it's cheaper to pay a penalty than accept it and have it.
so how much is it to pay the storage?
I believe it was, we paid one fee, $800.
That could be worth it.
I don't know, yeah. But I don't know for how many months, I forget how many months that was. Like that, but Atlantic Salt, Dale, Yeah.
And our church, our salt shed should be a little bit bigger to accept to hold more salt, right?
When-
For what our use,
Yeah.
when there is a storm.
Yeah.
When we get,
it's always good to have,
Yeah.
if and when that time comes, that we
We
would.
have to take this into account, the situation here, so we have enough room for the situation.
so here's a question. We had a huge storm. We used all the salt in the salt shed. We paid for storage. Can we go to wherever that storage place is with their trucks and load up? Or do we have to wait for them to ship it?
Well, they usually ship it, yeah.
But will we be first on the list because we already paid for that salt?
Maybe.
Presumably, we have a
And
little
then,
pile in the corner.
And their storage.
That's up to their dispatch, to
Um,
tell you the truth, but
I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if paying the storage gives us, a little pile that says Austin on it. and, we can go get it.
805.97.
805.97, so
Right.
you need, you need to
That's how
think
much
about.
we-
well, we were scrambling 3 years ago.
For-
And
to get salt, I
was
remember
very,
that.
very worried, and we were getting sand. I don't want to use sand because it clogs the catch basins eventually and all that, everybody was scrambling.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so you never really know. That's
Feast
just
or
one of the,
famine.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're paying one way
Yeah,
or
look
another.
into it, talk to them and see what they feel.
And figure out where and
Mhm.
what's our, so, all right, we'll talk about that. And you never want to tell them you don't want it because you'll be last on the list forever.
I'm not crazy about cutting down our minimum order either,
No.
so.
No, I get that. Thank you.
Going up, we have sand at $1,500 and liquid calcium at $6,000.
That tank is full, so. We're all,
Good. Do we have a minimum there?
Okay, following up by page 13, which just has our totals. Moving on to page 14. And this is where the 10% salary that we were discussing for Pete, Diana, and Kevin is being charged for the sanitary sewer system, and that comes to $25,907. We have an overtime for here at $5,000. We don't have any longevity or part-time charged here. And then we have for standby personnel at $7,800.
Because we increased that
Yes.
as
because
per our
of-
contract. Okay. So the Teamster contract increased the amount of the standby. Okay.
Equipment at $7,924. Nothing for telephone here. Electricity at $30,025. Nothing here for consulting services. 15. Repairs and maintenance equipment at $80,000. Intermunicipal contractual at $150,000. That is your total for that page.
So could we, with the administrative line, the first page, we have all makes listed repairs and maintenance for 3,000. Should that be sewer line?
All makes is all sewer.
No, because this is the one that's in the park. That whole department,
No, down.
7112,
The boat canoe club?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's,
Okay.
because it's in a park, it
Yeah.
has to go to general.
okay.
And
Yeah.
actually, of that total expenses that's charged to that line,
Mhm. Which one now?
7112,456,
Okay,
10,000 of it has to go to 7110, not 7112. And I have to see where the other pieces for martial alarm, which should be a monthly
Mhm.
charge to this line.
We do remove one for boat canoe club, martial alarm, I know that.
So you do pull one for,
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
And
yeah,
all makes,
Yeah.
there's only been a couple months of expenses charged to this line.
which one now, I'm sorry?
The 7112,
which is the park.
456, which is the,
Right,
there should be 12 each year. So I'm not sure where the other ones went, so I'm gonna have to hunt those down.
okay,
So
so all
there's
the,
gonna be a little back and forth going on.
all the being, yeah, there is anyway, I think after everything calms down,
Yeah.
to kind of fine tune some
Yeah.
of these. But,
Yeah,
all right, so all the B C club goes,
yeah.
all makes under administration, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Under the 7112.
right,
Yes.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's the alarms too. Yeah, martial
Yes.
alarm, all those, really.
All mix.
Yeah.
And then you had a couple French cook. So I'm not so sure that's supposed to be there either.
That's under 7112,
Yeah,
I don't think he was down there.
Fred Cook?
yeah.
No,
Oh,
I don't think
this
that's
will
a-
be,
It says Ryder Park.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's for putting in the new sewer line, so it's a sewer, but it was,
oh, yeah,
that's when he pumped it down when.
he had to stand by while we made the
Oh,
changeover. Yeah, you have to have the back truck there. When we went on our own from the Sunshine Home,
Mhm.
Yeah. to make that changeover, he had to stand by Cook.
So this should have gone to sewer.
Well, I don't, that was a project. I
That's what. he's
running
talking
from the art
about.
center,
He's saying something.
that was.
How much we talk?
We
So
did
that's
it-
why
we did it
it's
in-house, I mean, Matt,
No, but the cook truck, how much? was it?
945.
Yeah.
That wasn't a capital.
They get paid well for the
Not
job,
capital,
nobody
no.
else wants.
it was in the works
Yeah.
for like 3 or 4 years, talked about
But
it,
it's a
and
park.
whether funding was set up for it.
It was in the park.
For that
too.
project?
You have the plumber's fee
Mhm.
and cook. Maybe, I think, our electrician,
Mhm.
and we did the work in-house.
But this was for the sewer.
Yes,
Yeah. This
So it
was the
should
Yeah.
same,
be charged to general fund. It should be charged to the sewer.
but it was a sewer in the park. So it's the Cedarland Art Center. For the park. sewer.
Does the park have a, yeah.
but
Is
we
it
only,
improvement to a park?
we only separate the boat canoe clubs, what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay.
good.
Mhm.
Right.
All right,
But if the
Or
sewer, but if the sewer broke at Gerlach or a
Because
Ryder,
this is
what would
for
you
the
handle that?
actual,
It's still
the
sewer.
regular town sewer line.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So then that's why.
'cause
Right.
this is for that lift station proper,
just the one.
the 7112.
All right, so then Cook was not there.
Okay,
Cook was
Yeah.
at the other one.
it should be, is what you said, right? Just a boat club. 7112 should just be
Mhm.
boat club.
That-
Okay,
That's all
right.
it's for.
okay.
Mhm.
There was no generator down there. Maybe that shouldn't be there either. Right, Liz? You don't have a
There's no
generator.
generator.
So I don't know where that's coming into play down there, but I'll check that too.
National standby.
There's no generator down the boat canoe.
Go back to page 15. Okay.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks.
And then page 16. Move on to our refuse collection and disposal. So we have printing and postage at $4,200, and this includes our Recollect software and the printing of garbage calendars. So the Recollect software is there even though we're moving over to the new app because we're a year behind with everything. So we'll be done with year 2024 and year 2025. That's why.
We pay for it after?
Yes, and then they submit for reimbursement. So like right now in 2024, we paid for our usage in 2023. And we submitted, Terrytown is submitting for reimbursement for it, so you should get that money sometime.
Okay.
Between now, yes, and then for 2025, we're gonna pay for the fact that we used it.
In
up until
2024.
2024.
So do we pay per how many people clicked on it?
No, it's just a fee
Okay,
that is given to
so it's
us.
not gonna be, okay.
Yeah, and then so.
But it's
2025
we get 50% of that
50%
back.
Correct, and then for 2026, since we're already.
We're
the
moving to the
recycled
county
approach,
one, we're good.
We're done, so
Okay.
that's, yeah, so what we do get that money. Okay, for intermunicipal contractual, we have the refrigerator pickup as well as leaf disposal at IMA at Water Street and any other at $27,400.
Are we still allowed to dump leaves at Water Street?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't aware.
Or
For Refuse County of Westchester at $60,000. Contractual, oh wait, hold on. Thank you. For contractual refuse, and this is our suburban carting, at $633,500. And that is that increase with the increase with plus the CPI estimated at 3.7 as of August. Next up, we have recycling environmental waste disposal at $12,000. And that includes the town of Portland and the other environmental waste from Blacktop to Peckham and green waste recycling fees as well.
Okay, and that's our food scraps program.
No, that's charged to a different line. That's not
Okay.
charged here. And then to page 17, which is our totals.
You're supposed to have, wait, go back to that recycling and water disposal.
Mhm.
8,025, 10,005, and 65. Is that a 12? Or am I missing
No.
something? 8, that's 10, 50, and
Yeah,
6,
right.
and 65.
Because on the other page, there's a minus 5,000.
Oh, all right, right, right.
I do.
And then
Close
that
enough.
page is
All
like
you had to do was
super
turn
right
the
there.
page.
No,
Super hidden right
I
there.
do that too often, turn page.
Right there, also super tiny at the top.
Mhm.
Okay, and then next up, we have our anticipated revenue. So we have road opening permits at $6,481. Minor sales of recyclables at $1,000. And nothing yet for the sale of surplus equipment. But we did receive the check for this year's surplus, so that is being put forward for this year. For the sale.
Yeah, we should have received for the garbage truck.
Yes,
I think everything total about 11,000 something.
yeah, something,
Yeah.
yeah, and I sent the check down yesterday to finance,
Okay.
so they're going to be, putting it in,
Okay.
that's why you haven't seen it just yet.
Yep.
So that will be seen.
Carla just sent us a road opening check too last week.
For which
Sorry, for
area?
Con Ed?
Which area?
Road opening,
Yes,
wherever, during their work throughout town. Yeah, I
Yes.
think that was 11,000 something.
that
Yeah.
one was also sent yesterday as part of the
Oh,
October
good.
monthly
Okay.
report, so
Mhm.
that's not reflected yet here, because the checks were just sent yesterday,
Okay.
just want to keep it heads
Good.
up.
Yeah.
And just a thank you to Diana, because she's helped me keep track of the Brookfield tickets.
Mhm.
We scan them in now and we save it rather than trying to hunt down everybody when the
Right.
checks come in, so
Yeah.
that's been super helpful.
Yeah, that's good.
And the road opening fee is in addition to they put it back when they're done.
Yes.
So they pay us
Oh, yeah.
and they put it back when they're done.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
making sure,
Based on our spec. Yeah.
based on our full lane spec.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But that's all right.
Mhm.
For
Yes,
the
we
current.
did.
If they go over the middle of the road, yeah.
So one lane if it's just,
They can only,
And
if they
then
go up to
curve
the
through.
double yellow, they can only do one half.
Okay.
The way it's read, the way I read, yeah.
Any questions, comments for highways? No, refuse, anything?
all right, cemetery.
Okay. Okay, so cemeteries, so we have the contractual auditor at $1,061. Next up, we have finance for the IMA cemetery, at $15,468. Next up, we have contractual record retention, which includes the Laserfish portion of the town cemetery, as well as the town email services at $9,691. And that's for that part. And unallocated insurance cemetery, general liability at $7,500. Auto insurance at $950. Next up, contractual for the MTA tax at $841. That's the departmental total.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
thank
So the reason why it's like a little bit giant is because we were trying to say paper, we're already at 17 pages. And had I printed out each individual, it would have been to like 50 pages. So I was
you. Okay.
trying to save paper
Good job.
and trying to save it. Sorry, yeah. So if there's any questions of the totals, just let me know.
Yep.
Yeah, I did try, but like I said, it came out to 50 pages and I said, let's save the trees. What was it? Okay, contractual at 0. Next up, for cemeteries, we have the salary of Pete Connolly, 2%, increase from 2024, plus the 2 Castro's Teamsters who work there. They have reached the after year 4, so there's no more anniversary and increases their set salary for the year. At
They're
two-
full teams.
full Teamsters, no more anniversary. At $211,936 total for all 3 of them. Overtime at $12,000. Longevity for both Castros, coming to a total of $1,350. Out of title work at $2,000. As well as the sick pay incentive at $2,000. Up to page 4. Health stipend at 0, as both of them are part of our health insurance. Next up, we have our part-timer work, so we have the, one of our part-time laborers at $16.91, for 52 weeks per year, as well as 25% of the seasonal summer employee that works for the Parks Trust, the cemetery, because they help in the cemetery. At $19,627 for the total.
Should that be 17 an hour or?
We changed it to 17%. Just looks better. Before that, right?
Yes. Makes sense.
It adds up, don't get me wrong. Not a big number.
Easy, yeah. Amen.
Next up, we have equipment. So we do have as per Christine in IT department, we would need to get you a new PC and monitor next year for your computer at the cemetery. So that would bring us to $1,500 to get the PC and monitor for you. Next up, we have contractual. So we have ARPA cleaning. They come per month, $175, and we're also budgeting in for JP McHale for the mice problem that you had requested. And plus the EAP cemetery portion is also being charged here, which brings us a total to $3,620. Page 5, we have phone and internet, website work, and any additional at $1,200. Electricity at $2,500. Heat at $3,100. Printing and postage at $100. Professional dues and meetings for the New York Association of Cemeteries at $150. I'm sorry, I skipped office supplies and expense at $1,500. Conferences at $900. Unleaded fuel at $8,900. And then next up we have materials and supplies for monument foundation concrete at $4,500. We have maintenance and repairs for buildings and grounds at $25,000. Uniforms at $1,200. And this is again contractual $600 per employee. In-service training at $500. Trees at $20,000. The Colombian flag, thank you, at $1,800. Water charges at $1,200. Capital improvement expenses for monument repairs at $17,500. Page 7. So that's just our total there. Scrolling down, we have the employee benefits for the New York State ERS retirement system at $36,670. Okay, and then going on to page 8. We have FICA and Medicare at $18,889. After that, workers' comp, thank you. Workers' comp, so many lines. Workers' comp for employee benefits at $13,000. Nothing for that yet. And then next up, unemployment insurance. Keep going, keep going. Employee benefits at $64,049.
That's help.
Health, thank you, and that includes our health insurance as well as the Radish portion. Next up, we have for page 10 for dental, and that is at $4,000. Next up, life insurance at $1,000. Page 11. Next up, we have disability at $500.
Well, this is all where you.
Yeah, all that stuff, yeah. Page 12. Next we have our debt service principal, for $3,892.
That's for the cottage, right?
Just for the Dodge Ram with the club. And then following up for debt service interest at $1,422. Next up to page 13. We have the 2020 bond, the cemetery renovation at $26,000.
So that's for when we did the historic restoration of the cottage.
Followed up by the interest for debt to cemetery at $3,348. Next up, okay. So that's for page 14. And now for page 15, that we get our revenues. So sale of cemetery plots at $90,000. Retirement at $100,000. Inscriptions at $350. Foundations for the plots at $20,000. Donations at $0. Colombian flags at $2,000. Then interest earnings at $200. Nothing for rental of property. Nothing for the minor sales of the recyclable.
Yeah,
Nothing for insurance recovery. Nothing for minor insurance
you
reimbursement.
guys be quiet out there.
And nothing else in there until we scroll to the bottom. This is for just
Cemetery joke of the day. That's it.
transfers between the general fund at $250,314. I think that with that, we get to page 17. And over here, we all have 0, up until the bottom, which is the appropriated fund balance of $90,000 for next year. And with that, we reach the end of the really long cemetery packet. The budget line. Questions, comments?
They should all be like that one, right? That's,
What was the jump, Pete, in the sale of the plots the last 2 years? Right, from what you estimated to what you got?
You never really know. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
But how much availability, is there a type thing, is how much capacity we're at there, or how much? is
Oh,
left?
we had thousands left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, would have to be plotted still, and, you know.
But we still have more opportunity to expand and many more.
Yeah, I would say along the middle school, all the way from the flagpole down to the end.
Sell it before they start construction.
Yeah, that's our property, that's our property.
I mean, just the
Yeah.
view is different.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah. Mhm.
mom's gonna be next to the woods, or mom's gonna be
Oh,
next to middle school is
Sure.
different.
But like any other, you know, somewhere down the road,
Yeah.
you know, I think a few years from now, get another columbarium, you know, for the ashes. You know, you have about 15 spots left in there out of 66, so.
I still want a pet cemetery,
But,
pet columbarium.
mhm.
All good?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
All right, welcome back to our 2025 budget hearings. We are here with Mario Vallardo, foreman of our Parks Department for the Parks budget. Okay. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna start with the salary of our park employees. So we have Mario, Mark, Alvin, and then we have proposed the idea of bringing in a second parks groundskeeper to work beginning July 1st of 2025. Which would bring our total for all 4 employees at $328,414.
Our parks are getting more and more usage every year. We have a lot of projects going on. And we feel that the addition of one additional parks groundskeeper would help us keep up with the damage that the increasing storms and the increasing patronage has done to our parks. And I think Mario has been asking for that for a long time, have an extra person. And we'll try it out and see how it goes.
And that salary is prorated for that year,
Yes.
or is that the?
That's half. So
That's
that
half
would be
the salary.
half the
What we're
salary.
expecting for the year next year.
Uh-huh, so half the
Right, and
salary.
that would be as per the Teamster contract for a groundskeeper.
Mhm.
And then all the benefits that go with it.
Next up, we have our overtime at $40,000. Our longevity for our 3 park staff at $2,025. Out of title work at $7,000. Our sick pay incentive at $4,000. Our part-time, so we have a part-time laborer, as well as a part-time, we still have, yeah, at 23, sorry, at 29,947, and that includes that 1 part-time laborer. We are not having the groundskeeper anymore, we got rid of that, and then a seasonal employee at $17 an hour for 40 hours for 12 weeks, so that would be for 3 months.
Does that sound right to you, Marion?
For 3 months? You're okay with 3 months having them
We
in?
did, we did 4 months this year.
We did 4 months this year.
Okay, but we're adding
Another
another
employee,
parks
yeah.
person permanently, so
So that would be 3
we'll see
months.
how that works. And then
But then still keeping like.
we'll keep the
Larry,
3
the-
months,
Yeah.
and keeping Larry,
Right, yeah.
keeping Larry.
So we're keeping Larry, but the seasonal employee will be just 40 hours for
So we're gonna
12.
have to keep Larry,
12
keep
weeks.
Larry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but then we've also talked that might change for him. or
No,
he's
we're gonna
still-
keep Larry, we're gonna try to work it out with keeping Larry.
No, I understand that,
We're
but
at same hours,
same hours, so now.
same hours, same season.
Oh, right.
And we'll try this for a year, and then if that, we need to evolve it.
And then 25% of that seasonal employee salary gets charged over to the cemetery. Next up, we have custodial, and this is for a part-time park attendant working during the season for $3,960. Next up, we have equipment at $3,500. Telephone for Mario, as well as the ceiling and touches phone and internet, and Ryder Park phone and internet at $4,380. Next up, electricity at $56,845. Heat at $8,500. Unleaded fuel at $14,900.
Wait, what was CLAC again? That's the.
The Cedar Lane
Cedar Lane
Arts
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I call it.
All right.
Materials and supplies, and this includes our cleaning supplies at $5,000. Uniforms, for the new employee that's gonna be coming in, plus the 3 staff we already have, at $2,400. Consulting services at $10,000. In-service training at $3,000. Repairs to automotive equipment at $17,000. Water charges at $50,000. Maintenance of ball fields and lights at $14,000. And repair and maintenance of park facilities at $123,216. Tree service at $50,500. And that is all that we have for the parks. And then the rest are just our yearly totals. Questions, comments?
The water charge, that's straight part? Water,
We did have a couple leaks this year too.
yeah, but I mean, no, water went substantially down.
No, we haven't gotten billed yet,
Oh,
I'm sure.
You were billed through August something. So.
So we went from 99,000 to, oh, so you're saying you found the leak in Ryder and somewhere else?
Ryder had two, I believe.
during those years, 21, 22, 23, that's what led to that.
Yeah,
No,
there's
no, I'm
3
saying
years.
this year. Yeah, no, yeah, this year we found leaks.
What time, what part of the year, earlier?
One was the spring. I remember you questioning one of the bills.
Yeah.
And then we found one in the bathroom that was before the meter, and then somewhere in the summer. Sometime.
Only because we went from just about $100,000 worth of water down to
50.
34.
About 34 years.
Then you have
Usage.
what, another, because you got billed to August, you should only have till Labor Day for
for the water.
water
part.
park.
We should be using much more. That's 3 months.
No, the sprinklers are off our rider.
Good job.
Did you find a leak? So you found a leak in Louisville too, though, didn't you? I think you told me a while ago,
The spray part was,
had a leak.
I think that's it. I don't think anything else.
I'm just looking at the difference in how much the spray park used, so I think that leak might have been more substantial than we thought.
Keep on looking for those leaks.
Well,
You guys have
the
some
one that
leaks?
rider was hard because it was in a pit, so we really didn't notice it. It was always filled with water.
And it's supposed to be filled with water. All right, thank you.
Good.
Questions, comments?
Any questions? Karen?
So we'll be working to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
We'll work on it. Okay. So let's get started with capital project. And we'll get started with cemetery.
Yep, start with our capital projects, starting with cemetery.
Okay. So cemetery, we have not gotten a request for equipment for next year.
Good.
We do have request for a project, for cemetery fencing at $5,000. Walkway and flagpole replacement at $10,000. Monument repairs at Sparta Cemetery at $17,500.
We have that in the budget already, right?
Okay, so let me get rid of that. Hold on.
Well, it's in there. It's in the budget though.
It's in the budget, but still keep it here as a capital project.
You don't have to. Because you're not, because it's a repair, you're not claiming it as a fixed asset.
Let's get rid of it here. Okay, and then we have the wall at the Kilbrook
That's
at
our FEMA, one of our FEMA
one of our
projects.
FEMA projects at $84,500.
Okay. Pete, do you anticipate if we get moving, trying to do either of the other 2 repairs at the cemetery through the FEMA projects?
No, they're not included in that.
They're not here. No, they're not here. I'm just asking if you want to put them, do we anticipate we'll be able to move forward with them next year?
I don't quite understand, but
So
With
the
the
road
fee-
washout?
Yeah.
And the stairs?
Yeah.
Do we think that we're gonna be able to get that? Is that something we're gonna try to accomplish during 2025, or are we gonna
if you
probably
get
have
the
to put
funding,
it?
sure, we can do it, yeah. Is that what you mean? Yeah, we can have it. cap.
Okay, it's a FEMA project. Do we need to put it in here?
You can if you like. The capital plan is always in flux.
Flexible. All right, so we don't have to put it in just yet, but if we're gonna do it,
You can always add it.
okay.
Okay. Next up,
That was a total.
oh, sorry, so the total we have as of right now for cemetery fund for 2025, $32,500, and grant funding at $84,500.
We're gonna take out the 17, right?
Yes, I'm taking off
So
the
it'll be
17.
15,084.
What's 17?
The monument repair.
The monument repairs in another budget line.
Because it's in your operating. budget.
Oh, okay.
Fencing is just a certain area of the cemetery, or
Fencing, you don't even see it. It's around the back and it's like a 100-foot drop down to the Phil Brook. And it's- really should be done and, not even, it's
Just
just,
to stop Murphy from,
it's past the, between the Jewish cemetery and going down the bottom of the hill, so,
Alright.
yeah. It's all our property.
Okay.
all right, moving on to highway.
On to highway. So for highway, there is some edits that I just want to make everybody aware of. So number 3 for the new utility body for truck number 64, that's being moved to 2024. So just please disregard that one. So we have a request for an asphalt roller at $39,475. The 8-foot snow plow, 8-inch or
8 foot.
8-foot, thank you, 8-foot snow plow for the new pickup truck at $8,500, but Pete had been requesting it maybe to be put here for 2024 or 2025. We're just
All right,
trying
are
to-
we able to fit that into 2024? Or are we done with that line and we wait till January to order that?
For the snow plow.
Yeah.
Let's talk in December.
Mm,
I'll put this one,
Okay,
I'll put a little asterisk on this one. Like I said,
the
the
new
truck,
truck is here, right? The new truck is here, just waiting.
Now, that's the one that's ordered from California.
oh, so it's not coming anyway.
Well, I don't know it, well,
Yeah,
they might say they're gonna start banging these trucks out next
Yeah.
month and,
Right.
Yeah.
so we can wait till December, because then we'll have better
Yeah,
word on the truck
absolutely,
and.
sure.
Okay.
sure.
so do I move forward with the PO for the truck or
For the plow,
for the plow, sorry?
no, we're gonna wait till.
Wait until December for
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
body truck number 64, go ahead with the PO for
That's
that.
Yes,
Got, okay, thank you, trying to clarify, thank you. And then the other request we have is for a Mason dump truck with a plow, but that's, we removed our request to 2026 for $105,000.
that's not the one we ordered. This is the next one we ordered.
Correct.
Okay. Do we, God help us, want to order it in 2025, figuring it'll get here in 2027? I'm not actually joking,
No, I know, yeah.
because,
can't
you know,
really count on that. And my concern is taking on more debt
okay.
service for the highway.
Well, so far, this is still within the confines of our budget, right? Or would it be debt service?
No, it would be debt service or it would be fund balance.
All right,
It's $105,000.
yeah,
So, it would be
all right.
one or the other.
So the other one's already set aside, the 100 and whatever is already set aside for the one that we ordered. That could get here any minute. All right, so we're gonna keep that in 2026, because,
Yes.
Next up, we have requests for projects, starting with the Highway Department office roof at $53,000. A townwide stormwater drainage engineering study at $300,000. Road paving for Country Meadows, we moved that to 2026 at $300,000. And then,
Wait.
and
the townwide drainage engineering study. We're doing 2 pieces of it, they're already funded. And we're hoping to get it back from, one has to do with the FEMA projects, we're trying to get I think that was $40,000 one back from, so that's already in 2024. And then the other piece is the Maple Road area. And we already have a project that's already funded as well. So are those the two main areas you want to look at
That's fine.
for now?
Yep.
And then
Yes.
after we deal with
Mhm.
what's going on in these areas, we can go to the rest of the town?
I'm good with that.
All right, so
Yeah.
we could take up this 300 because we've already funded it with 2024. Okay,
So get rid of number 2.
get rid of number 2. Number 1,
So,
we'll talk about. The road paving, I think we already got it out till 2026,
Yes.
okay? Because we're
Um,
doing good on Road 4 now.
The office roof has been proposed maybe now about 4 or 5 years, so, we took care of the mechanics roof.
We
We
did.
do have looks like a small leak over the kitchen sink.
Also starting to leak now.
Of ours, yeah, the tile is stained, so just as a heads up.
Okay.
You come down from the gas station, it's all rusted, it's a metal roof, you can see it from, North State. And it is 2 trailers put together that's, over 20 years old, so closing in on 20.
All right. We'll look at it. We're probably gonna have to,
And then we have an enclosed security fence that was requested at $15,300. The PA requested for the,
so will that encase the whole yard,
It's not,
the highway yard?
we are looking for, speaking with Mario and going together, we've had some conditions of vandalism where we store our equipment, and we're just trying to secure it. I mean, it's,
What
at the
park are you
park.
putting this in?
well, our leaf machines are at the park along with
Which
our
park?
plows, Cedar Lane.
Okay.
Okay, it's a good thing we brought them in early, for service, and which I do ahead of time because Chuck noticed that, the leaf machines are like plows. I mean, if you're waiting for parts, which we did on one of them, now the leaves are down. So it's like, you gotta have this stuff. And if they're getting played with over there, we have an issue. So Barry and I have been talking about trying to find a flat piece of property that we could keep our seasonal equipment secure, right, with fenced in.
All right, so I know the town board's talking about buying the piece of property. So I don't know that I wanna. And we're trying to move on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know that, this will be subject to, did we find another location? Because if we're buying another location, then we're gonna wanna fence that.
Yeah, but it seems like that's always the answer. And
I get
I
that.
know what you're saying, it's either with the salt shed or this and that. But again, we can't afford not to have these pieces of equipment when we need them. And, plows and the leaf machines, or maybe even a sewer jet or something like that, so
Yeah, I
We're
mean, well,
really
maybe
up-
we shouldn't be leaving them there, is the
you're
concept.
absolutely right.
So, we need to
That's-
figure out a different place to leave them.
Right.
If
Well,
they're
that's-
getting vandalized in an area, then there's,
Well, this is what we're leaning towards.
can you give us a couple of proposed sites that you were, and the layout we really want to put this,
Okay.
and your equipment's gonna go in there so that,
so
Maybe
you
we
give
can
me a
look
map
at
and
it.
let me see what you're thinking.
Sure.
so we can look at it all.
Sure. And
That's
again,
the best
it's
way.
working together with parks.
Yep.
To secure both our things.
Along with working on hand in hand for what future final outcome should be.
So would this be for both parks and highway? This fence?
Then we could split it, right? Yeah. I mean, we even had a catalytic converter from where we are in Briarcliff, removed from one of the trucks when, guy went out. Boom. So, and that's not cheap.
No,
And good thing, our own mechanics did it, but, probably run you $1,000.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
come to see that our equipment being parked on non-blacktop area pavement has been
Mhm.
deteriorating the trucks a lot more because of the moisture. I never knew that, but we've
Yeah.
seen the results of some of the equipment, so that's another issue
Yeah.
that. we have to
all right,
park
so
on
that
blacktop.
just leaves us away from,
We have some
That
nice
area
stuff
too.
now, and
That's-
working
that's
together
what we
with the board over the last 2 years,
Where?
we got some nice equipment, so
That's all we park on. Yeah, no.
we just want to keep it
All right.
nice what we have.
So
Alright.
we're gonna have to look at,
We'll get some pictures, some layouts of what their thoughts are, and
all right, but also in here, we might look at, you know, if we're buying the yard or something. So that would have to go into here.
an outside, I guess, a seasonal, storage area, shed or building. Proper title. Seasonal equipment storage,
Yard,
yard, well, storage yard, yeah, building,
equipment storage.
or seasonal stuff.
Just mentioning the roller that's closing in on
Equipment storage yard.
almost 20 years old. Getting
What
hard,
is-
the roller, the asphalt roller,
Didn't
it's
we
getting
buy
hard.
that with chips money?
Chips. Blacktop chips?
No.
Did we? Years ago?
I think we have.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's getting harder to get the parts, what the mechanics say, so just as a heads up on that. Hi, Andy.
Maybe
We are live.
Yard.
live recording.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I understand the roller and I'm fine with leaving that there. You know, I'm just trying to. Find it. All right,
So do we keep the fence and the roof or
we could leave it there for now.
and just add a line for equipment storage yard?
TBD.
Maybe?
It'll be debt financing. Or fund balance, we'll see.
Okay. So moving on to page 20. We have no requests for any equipment or projects for the sewer.
Good.
Nothing considered.
That's new and exciting.
Something with land.
We've been, along with the board, very active on improving the station.
No, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think we're finally at a place, knock on wood.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Did we do the Cedar Lane sewer
All right,
station?
This fall coming?
Should be.
Okay.
I tried calling. Yes. Yeah, but it's done.
Liz, we
Honey,
did that, Liz? We
What?
did the Cedar Lane sewer station?
Yes,
We did that, right? That's just completed?
That's gonna need a big.
we have to balance that out for, you know, that's, we have to work between the sewer and yeah. but it's done.
Oh, no, just want to give you guys a heads up. So I was late because we're dealing with a consulting engineer. So we were required by the EPA last week to send out a lead service line or galvanized service line or unknown service line for the water system inventory. So we're required within 1 month to send out letters to anybody that we have no idea what's in their house. We've done hundreds of hours of research, or areas where we don't know ourselves. Our water guys went through 6,500 accounts and they found 244 lead services, which is not a lot in our system on our side. There's 66 lead services on the owner side. There's over 1,000 unknowns. So we will send out a couple of thousand letters by the 15th of this month to residents to get back to us on what there's, to set up an appointment to go into their house. There's only usually a 1% recall rate. So if you send out 3,000 letters, you probably get 30 calls back. You know, so we'll do our best. We're gonna have a communication meeting next week. That's what I'm telling you this. Wednesday, 10:30, you guys will get invited. So
Okay,
that you guys, in case
she'll be
you,
away, so it'll be me and him.
yes, we know that. Because Karen.
All right,
told us
we'll
that.
put it out during our update that this letter is expected, so you'll get something to us that says, please be on the lookout, this is gonna be in your mailbox, we need to, you know,
Yeah, we're gonna,
contact
we're gonna
you.
talk about that in that meeting next week.
all right.
Can you
Which
give
is-
us what's the owner's part and what's the municipality part? Is it from the main to
Yeah,
the, to the shut off and then?
yeah, so the municipality owns from the main to the shut off, and they own to the meter, and the shut off to the meter.
And
But
we're looking for
it's
lead and anywhere along that line?
anywhere along that line, and then the EPA regs state like, say there's lead on the owner's side and the village side. But yet we have lead services that are only on the village side. we're supposed to do only the village side first before we get into owners. We need to, they don't want like half combined lines, how the regs are written. It's very detailed how this is written. And then, obviously,
So the financial
wanted-
burden's on the owner to replace their portion?
right now, it's on the owner. Right now, it's on the owner, but the regs could change where they say in 3 or 4 years, you know, village, you're responsible for this, but you could have a payment plan for the owner. And by then, Stewart would have to do access agreements to get on their property. It's not there yet. But the 244 lead services have to be replaced within 14, between 2027 and 2040. So that being said, Dale and I talking about the capital plan, we already are gonna be doing Spring Street next year. We need to delineate for the next 14 years how we're gonna go about this, because that's an extra 400,000 a year just on the village side. So it's
All
like,
right, and do you have any idea how many is on the town side, and is the town itself responsible for?
I don't
And do you
think,
know if any of our town buildings have any?
as
lead
far as I
services?
know, I don't think there's any lead services on the town
This
side.
works for me.
Yeah, so, but we still have to let you guys know, because we're the water purveyor. and
No,
then-
absolutely, so, but you'll let us know how many unincorporated households have the lead
Well-
service lines.
So now the next step is we have this couple of thousand letters that go out, and Yadley and Justin are helping Sophia delineate between what the owner is and the billing address, because if the owner is separate from the renter, then 2 letters need to be sent out. So it's a big deal, like,
Is Holly helping you?
I don't think we need to go there.
Okay, because you have the water bills to send to the owner and, okay, good.
But there's municipalities that didn't do the due diligence where they just responded unknown to everything. And now they have to send out 100,000 letters because they didn't go through all their records.
So you did go through.
We went through all the records and we narrowed it down. We're way ahead of everybody else. But we still want to make sure we follow the protocols and the timelines.
Out of how many total accounts?
6,500. 6,600.
All right,
Narrowed
and
down to
of those
5,000.
250, you know you have to deal with.
It's really like
206.
5,600.
Oh,
Fire alarms too, yeah.
Way to get ahead of it. That's good.
No, but just, I kind of want you guys to know in case the public comes to you.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely, and we are absolutely available to help you get the word out and try to get compliance and, if you need anything from the assessor's office for tax parcels, identification, whatever, let us know.
Sorry.
All right, now Mario's dreams.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the Bobcat skid steer with tracks at $84,912. A pallet force attachment at $3,326.56. A grapple for an excavator at $2,500. A jet floor drill press at $1,800.
What does that one do? The jet floor drill press, I'm
Oh,
just
this is
interested.
the drill press, it's in the shop, so when you're drilling holes, accurate holes, into metal or wood. Ours,
How often do we use that, a lot?
well, we don't have one anymore, it's been a couple years now. Things from the Flintstone there.
You go rent one? for you?
No, we just do it by hand and break drill bits and stuff. It's not an important thing, but
Next up, we have the charging station at $30,000.
what's that?
That's for your electric lawn equipment,
An Exmark,
although we'll be looking for grant funding for that. But for now,
number 6 Exmark walk behind mower at $12,000.
okay, wait, isn't that the one is that a regular one?
They don't make that in battery operated yet.
The walk behind one?
And that's more for us at the cemetery and some hills at the.
If
the
it's
park,
for the
so it's kind of
cemetery,
a
it should
joint.
go in the cemetery.
Well, it's a joint. It'll be used at the cemetery, Sparta, on the hills at the cemetery where the big machines can't go, and at hills in the parks where we can't go with big machines.
Just, we've been sharing equipment. you know.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
And
That's why
good,
I didn't
just
request any equipment this year, because,
Because it's over here.
we have a, good thing going with the 2 departments, so.
All right, and I need to ask the the Bobcat skid steer, we've been kind of going in circles.
That, as
There's
long-
two there's two around. One's in the cemetery, one's with you. Which one we're keeping one, we're getting rid of one?
the trade-in would be the one at the cemetery, I believe,
So the one that is currently at the cemetery will trade in.
yes.
The one that
Ours
you currently have goes to the cemetery,
to the highway,
to the highway, that the cemetery has to have one, no?
they have ours, because the thing is with the wheels too, it's hard on the hills, that's why.
Hold on.
So here's the thing. So when I started for foundation pouring, we weren't really connected yet at the
Right.
time. So I had to have something to put the concrete in, climb the hills and pour the foundations
Right.
for the monuments. So when Sue was the supervisor, we bought that.
Right.
And that's what we used for many, many years. So now working jointly together, you know, Mario comes and we rent the buggy, a different piece of equipment, which works even better. So
Which we're gonna talk
we
about. in
really
a second.
don't need it in the cemetery.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you do need it, you're able to borrow it from parks and we don't need to have a specific. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you, and thank you for working together.
And the price shouldn't be that. I submitted I believe it was 64. I'm not 100%. I tried to look to see if I had a copy of the proposal. But it wasn't,
Wasn't 84?
I don't know if you guys have it.
Maybe it was added with the attachments, I don't know. Martha?
Years I have 84, 9, 12, 38.
I believe it was in the 60s. And then the trade-in was either, I forget now, it was either 15 or 25. It was one of those.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have it back.
Price.
Should have it at my office.
And that cost me spread out between the three?
minus trade. They're all general funds, so,
I think usually for capital, we know that we get the refund back, but we don't include the refund price
okay,
in the capital.
okay. Okay, and it's the cemetery one that we're.
Yep. Yes.
Okay,
And we get contract pricing for it.
okay.
That's why I don't.
So
think it's
maybe
that.
the estimate price was that, but the contract price is better. Okay, buggy. How many times have you been renting this buggy? It seems like it's around a lot.
We rent, we do rent it a lot.
Okay, how many times did you say you rented it this year?
Well, right now I've had it for, this will be the second month. It depends on the job. You try to line up the job, so when you rent it, it's cheaper to rent by the month than it is a week or by the day. So this year. I'd have
And we
to
did the
say-
foundations.
Right,
with
It's
it.
$2,000 a month, it's $1,000 a
No, it's
month.
15, between 15, 1,700 for the month.
Okay, how much is it to buy one?
Brand new one is about 26,000. I do talk with the guy at Decker Two River, we do rent it, for a used one, which they do sell every couple of years. It's not something you do use every year, so if we could find something at half the price, I mean, I think it's a great.
I'm
purchase.
asking because we're renting it an awful lot and
Right.
I see that you have other projects you want to do or we need to do that. We use the buggy and looking at the amount of times and with the bills coming in that we rented, it seems to make sense to, if you can get a used one, great, Chuck's amazing at keeping things together. So I think we should put, so 26, half of that's 13. Do you think that used one that you've been talking to would be about 13?
If he still has, if he still has it.
Okay, well,
I'll find out. But isn't that something that we did do jointly too? I'm sure, I don't know if the highway, sometimes when you're. if you
or
have
that
to
could be a
consider-
joint with cemeteries. That sounds like the
Cemetery
thing you use at the cemetery now.
At
Buggy
least 2 or 3 times a year we do the cemetery, yes.
During
As
projects.
I
and
explained,
stuff.
that's why we
Yeah.
had the.
Why you
Bobcat.
don't need the skid steer.
Right, yeah.
Because
All right.
it's less chance of tipping. I mean,
Yeah.
once we get our skid steer, I mean.
Okay,
might
but
be
if you have
good.
a buggy, do you still need a skid steer?
Oh, yeah. There's
Okay, I'm
different
trying.
purposes.
All right, so I'd want to add 13 for, assuming you can find a used one. Now you're out looking for a used one that you know the
I'm sure
history
we'll
on,
find one.
that you know the history on.
I'll see if the one we have now.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're just gonna say-
Well, no, yeah, because the one that you know works and doesn't have any
Yeah.
defects. So, spell buggy, B-U-G-G-Y?
Yeah, I know, I always get.
You call it boogie,
Boogie.
so B-O-O-G,
I remember
right?
From
You'll
last
have to
year.
look at
Buggy.
what your procurement policy says in regards to buying used
All right, fine. Okay, fine.
What if they
Um,
have, what if they have it in a buggy?
Yeah.
Try BUGG.
For that garage.
And how much?
Mario, how do you spell buggy?
B-U-G-G-Y?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because I always say, buggy.
I know, but to put on the budget, we need an actual,
Buggy, yeah, B-U-G-G-Y.
all right,
Okay, and $13,000? Okay.
well,
That should work.
what do you want to put, if they're 26 new, do you want to put new, because we need to check before the Violet stuff? The 26, we need to
I wanna see what else you're moving out of here.
The sprayer comes out.
Okay, so next we have, okay,
Just
so,
real
Alright,
quick,
well-
I met with Con Ed yesterday about charging stations.
Mhm.
We're doing 4 at the community center, so it's gonna be 2 there with 4 connections, high power.
Mhm.
If you provide service to your municipality and not to the public, right, so that would be the situation where
Yes.
they will pay half of the soft costs and 50% of the infrastructure costs. So the chargers yourself, you need to buy, but the infrastructure, they will pay half of that. So if you need an upgrade of a panel at the building,
Right,
you
that's
need to
what we
bring a
need.
new service in,
Yeah,
we need to put a transformer in. 50% of that, we can meet with Pedro, 50% of that would be paid for by
half of
Con
the
Ed
it's
soft
not-
and half of the, what was the other one?
and the infrastructure,
But it's not a car charger.
but not the car charger. So everything up to the car charger.
No, but it's not for a car charger.
No,
It's to bring, what, you got
I think it's a
updated,
charging station.
we only have 800
Right.
units.
Yeah,
Our
but
shops with
but
upgraded
it,
service.
it's called for a charging station.
Sure.
All right, so this would be a lawn equipment charging station, and the other one is, for the highway, is the truck, the highway truck charging station. They're not for municipal use, for public use.
Yes, 50%, but these are regular, the lawn equipment and what you want on a highway would just be like regular charge point chargers, correct? The different
No,
types of
just-
chargers?
Just outlets,
Okay,
just regular, I believe I forget, it's been like 2 years now.
find out,
It's a charging infrastructure setup.
Because the problem is our shop, the way it was designed, it's not,
we kind of have to work backwards, so let's find out from the equipment what's required, and then we'll meet with Con Ed. And then,
So there's a potential to get some of that, and there's a potential for grant help.
okay,
If Con Ed's helping, yeah,
but
'cause
I-
it's been
that-
hard to find that one.
that's really key to know what percentage they'll help. And will they help with the lawn equipment? I'll find out.
something procurement policy, just has to do with yours. Where were we? The
All right.
paint sprayer at 5,000?
All right, so
that
you
could
don't,
come out.
that can come
Take
out?
out, okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Enclosure for Bobcat utility vehicle at $5,000. And
Were
then,
we keeping that one?
I mean, as long as I could replace the glass on it, so we could see.
Is that a possibility? Did you bring it over to
No.
highway to see if they can do that?
No, not yet. But that could come out, yeah, or move it to,
I'm trying to get you a buggy here.
yeah, no, I'm sorry, it has to come out, it has to come out. That's fine.
take out number 8.
Right, yeah.
Okay, take out number 8, okay. And then number 9, a 24-foot enclosed trailer at $15,000.
That would house all our new battery operated.
Yeah, see, now there's the thing, don't they, is it just the batteries that sit on the charger in the garage, or does the equipment have to go in to be plugged in?
For the mowers, they have to go inside.
Okay, so they're gonna be stored in the building, not they can't, the trailer's not gonna have a charging.
But this is a towing trailer. So you tow the
To bring it
equipment
to
around wherever. That's
But how do
we
you get
have.
the regular lawnmowers around?
We have another trailer that they're,
You're
We have
replacing
a
one,
field
or are
maintenance
you adding an
He's
additional
trying to add
trailer,
another
or
trailer.
you're replacing one?
no, this is adding to house all the new stuff. And then move it around.
You can bring the trailer up, plug the trailer in, and everything will stay in the trailer. All your other,
He's asking for a regular trailer, not a charging trailer.
covered.
It's an enclosed trailer, the whole.
A plain
We
trailer.
have, we have a field maintenance trailer, we have a maintenance trailer now, and we have a
I thought you
utility
were
trailer
doing-
that was only the skid
Do
steer.
they
So-
have charging trailers?
Yeah.
Because then we wouldn't have to put the infrastructure into
I
the
thought they didn't have
shed.
it. I thought you had to convert it, because I was,
Oh, maybe I
because
just.
you had to convert it into whatever, but
I would
Wait.
prefer a trailer that housed the equipment and charged it, and then if it was
yeah, I'm sure you-
towable, because then the equipment wouldn't, and it would be movable, and especially since
Right.
eventually we want to build a new highway garage, then having something that
but
could
that's.
park
the-
outside of that and have all the electric ion batteries outside of it, away from the other equipment, isn't a bad thing either.
And that's the other purpose of Boost, because we really don't have any room in our shop to store all the stuff.
This is the kind of stuff I was hoping to have in the beginning so that we could do this here.
Keeping number 9?
I think you should go get a better price just
We
with the
need
charging
prices.
and all that stuff. 'Cause like supervisor's point.
Well, we're trying to get the budget done, but I guess we can assume that between the charging station / charging trailer, we'll find out what the actual price of the charging stations would be after, if Con Ed will assist us, as compared to a trailer that would also charge. But if the charging infrastructure is in the building, you're gonna have to charge them there and leave them there until you're ready to use them, then put them into the trailer. And then, unless we could find a charging trailer, or outfit a charging trailer, which would be putting the money for the charging station into,
Either way, you're
Sure.
gonna have to upgrade your infrastructure,
right.
because, so you just, you
We still need to be able to plug in the
Plug the
trailer,
trailer,
so.
Yeah, you're gonna need
Yeah.
power, plug
So
in
we're
the
gonna-
trailer.
And you could probably outfit the trailer reasonable with their annual bidder. You put a panel in there, you have a quick connect that goes from the trailer to
To the new
outlet,
infrastructure, okay.
and then they'll have daisy chained, coded, make sure it's the
Right.
code. So I think you could leave the trailer in there and work backwards
But the infrastructure needs to be done
regardless, and use
Okay.
Con Ed for that.
charging station. Yeah.
Would do the charging station instead of putting it to general fund, do it to grant funding?
Maybe half of it.
Half. Okay.
How did you get the 30,000 for the charging station?
We got an estimate from Fiora.
Okay, so that's a level 2 probably charging system.
And
And that wasn't the infrastructure, was that was, well, actually, no, it should be. That's probably the whole price, because it's so much.
It's
cheaper.
from bringing the line in to the,
upgraded 200 amps, and then for the bigger
Okay.
machines, each machine needs its own circuit.
Okay. It's a good price. So potentially,
Well,
No,
that
no,
was 2
so-
years ago, so.
no, but let's just say that number is 40,000 now, because things are gonna, look at the cost of the charger is probably, probably $3,000 or $4,000, so the infrastructure cost is probably gonna be like 25,000, so half of that would be paid for by Con Ed. So you should be okay with that number, even with escalation costs. That's-
Community center.
Level 1. Level 1, it's, because we have to run the power anyways, and we need to step up, there's not enough capacity in the building.
You're just
infra-
raising
the
all the-
community center, it'll be 1 hour to charge that bus.
Oh, nice.
It'll be, yeah. So it's not much more cost to do it that way as a level 1, but you're not gonna need that in this situation.
And Con Ed will give you reimbursed even though whatever level you're at.
Yeah, so the village has a grant for $100,000 just for the chargers.
From who?
I don't-
All right.
And the cost of the infrastructure, I believe, is the low side could be 70, the high side could be 150. Half of that cost will be paid for by Con Ed. So Con Ed hasn't given us a final determination how they're gonna set up the transformer, but that's the kind of money it is to bring it to level 1.
All right,
Yeah, you probably do. Karen speak to you about it.
She came in yesterday about the, when you were on the phone.
I guess without the charging station, you really can't plug the trailer in, yeah, without that in place.
All right, so we'll take a minute.
yeah, so we have everything being kept. Number 6, sorry, so number 5, charging station is being split 50/50, general fund and grant. 7 and 8 are out. 9 is still there, and then we're adding another one for add the buggy for $13,000.
Three and
What are our
four,
procurement,
you
what are our
can move
procurement
too if you
policies?
have to.
Just send it, so the procurement policy
She's looking at
states. Purchases of the second-hand goods.
Or from town supplier. So is it every-
If it can be determined that such purchases are fair market values in the best interest of the town. And the truth. So you'd have to see what the.
We'd have to go on,
Look is, I
yeah,
don't know if
Kelly
you even
Blue
have
Book.
that for that piece of equipment.
What's the equipment?
a boogie, buggy.
The concrete buildings, we rent it alone.
So I don't know how easy that's gonna be.
You just go find a bunch of advertisements for used ones and see what they're.
Yeah, you don't have to go to that. You look at multiple dealers, multiple rental places.
What did you
That are
say?
selling.
What did you say the limit was? Yeah.
Hmm?
What's the limit?
No, this is
We wanna buy used.
the one that he's been renting
Whatever.
for like half price from the price of the new one.
That gets tricky. How much is it?
So 2 years ago it was 26,000 a year ago.
Yeah, I think you have to, I remember Rose talking about, because we looked at vehicles that way, or highway trucks. We had to show, we had to document fair market value.
Right.
We had to show.
Right, that's what it's saying.
Yeah, so we had to document fair market
And how do you
value,
do
and it
that?
could be anywhere in the country. It could be, you can look at, you can get proposals of used ones with the same hours and condition from 3 different places. And then you should be allowed to do that.
Gotta be apples and apples.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you can't have
Right.
double the amount of
Yeah,
hours.
that's hard to do with the
How
something
you
used.
gonna know, yeah,
Yes, yeah,
how many hours?
that's tough.
They do have hour meters.
How's it gauge? I mean, it
Yeah.
has to be done.
Yeah, they have to show you the picture of the hour meter and all that, yeah. All that.
That's the only way to do it.
$13,000 worth of effort
We
to
would have
get.
killed ourselves with the concrete, we knows a lot of concrete. What we use it for gravel, topsoil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, continue through the rest of the
Okay.
parks and see what we got.
That's all I have for equipment.
That's-
And this just in the rest we get to the.
Yeah, I know.
The grapple and the jet floor field price has been more
Out of here.
to like 26 and 27.
Didn't you say the grapple's kind of going in not holding things anymore?
Well, that's for the excavator. It's not for the skid steer. The pallet forks attachment is for the skid steer.
All right, they can move it up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 3 and 4 move to 2026.
Sure.
All right, so you took out 10. 1250. $14,300. You got $14,300 so far.
And you're gonna have more. I'm telling you, the skid steer wasn't that much.
All right.
I don't know if you
okay.
guys have a copy of the quote. I'm assuming it in the spring.
How close are you guys from balancing? Close? Budget?
The town's fine.
It's all good.
So,
We didn't do the capital, budget. That's what this is.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
capital
that's-
bother.
Yeah.
But the, yeah, I'm under the tax cap. There's a whole bunch of unhappy people, obviously.
I know,
Be unhappy people.
No matter what, yeah.
There's gonna be a lot.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay,
All
moving
right, hold on,
along.
let's,
We got another 12 employees for the.
where is it?
They don't apply.
Oh, all right,
You know, for-
Okay,
And-
so
all right.
keep at the concrete buggy at how much? 26?
26, and we'll see what we can do.
It's too easy to get a new one than
Okay.
to go through all that. Let's see.
So next up, we have for Cedar Lane Park. So we have staircases
I want to see.
at $20,000 for 2025.
Mhm.
LED lights for the dog park,
It's grant funding.
grant funding at $20,000 for 2026.
Mhm.
Um,
No number on this one, but 2A,
hold on.
or is it 3? Oh, it's 3.
Number
should be up
3,
there.
yes. So number 3 is to remove existing blacktop adjacent to garden, install asphalt pad, install this double pitch system and lady lighting. This is for soccer and volleyball complex.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
going
we've been on
out because we need
226.
to do drainage.
Pavilion bathrooms for 2026.
Wait, so the whole Musco system and everything, I want to do it, but right now, oh, it's in 2026, never mind.
Yeah, it's for 2026, yes.
Yeah.
For $210,000.
Right, and that one's out to 26 too also. Good.
Pavilion, yes, pavilion bathrooms to 2026,
All right, we don't have a
And then-
caretaker house in this one.
which
That
was
goes into
just
Ryder.
meant to go to Ryder, my apologies. So, Ryder Park, number 1 will be the caretaker's house repairs at $25,000 for 2025. Next up will be the soccer field creation for sprinkler system, regrading, drainage, irrigation, and sod. We had pushed that out to 2027 and 2028.
That's for Cedar Lane.
Hold on.
There was,
Where are you?
there was a little mix up with this that I kept fixing and I thought I'd fix
Wait,
it.
which one is for Cedar Lane?
The soccer field region. There's no soccer field. Right? It's not-
Okay, yeah, so they switched each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So swap out
You just
5,
switch, yeah, switch
5
one
and
and
1, yeah.
5 and
Right.
1. All right, you need 25,000 for that, yes.
If we're doing the work now. The outside, we ended up putting the aluminum siding back up to match. It doesn't match, it's white, the blue, but we found we can paint it, so we'll paint it in the spring or summer.
Okay,
He does still have windows he can't open, and it's really the 2 front rooms, the bathroom, and the porch that need updated.
and that's the cost for that?
Think so. Let me
Believe in this place.
price it, but yeah, no, if we're doing the work, it's definitely cheaper than that. And with their, like we've done in the past, it's the time to do it. We can-
Right.
We can fit it in, you know, that's busy on the outside.
So what do you wanna, what placeholder number do you wanna put in for that? 15?
Let's do 10, 15,000 this year, 10,000 next year, do it in a 2-year period.
So you gotta see how much plowing there is in winter, that's how
Well,
the
at least
winter
for
stuff
starting,
goes.
spread that money out for
Right.
2 years and get the house back up since we're the landlords of it.
Oh, we've been putting plenty of money into this house, don't even start.
We need a couple dollars.
We could add a whole new house.
Well, he's over here.
Because we put so much into it already, it's like money pit.
Oh, that's Andy's. Leave for a minute.
Oh, that's, he had to prepare
This,
himself.
by the way, this is recorded, so.
We're on.
So that was almost recorded.
Yeah,
It was
almost.
recorded. That was
It's
recorded.
part of the-
I'm going to YouTube.
Must be no noise.
It would leave in perpetuity.
What do you think, that's all right?
All
Spread
right.
that out, no? Or you want it all?
We do 25, keep it 15.
No, because we won't,
right, leave
you're
it
better
at
off doing
15.
it in 2 years, but and,
15 and
because
10,
then it's, like
15 for
Liz said,
2025
if it
and
does
10
snow,
10
or
for a 2026.
if we do get busy with snow and stuff,
Sure.
they better do it in parts, 2 parts.
Yeah, needs attention, you know.
No, absolutely.
Okay. All right,
Next up, okay, so now for writer, apologies again, I'll fix that for the final version. We have the multi-sports court, pickleball, basketball, and volleyball court.
Yes.
That's through grant
That's good.
funding for 2025.
Mhm.
Good. Next, we have the storage shed for parks equipment that's being requested to store and lot across the pavilion, 2025, 25 grand, and 2026, 25 grand. Next up, sprinkler system at Finch Field at $7,000. Ryder Court drainage at $30,000. Ryder stormwater pond, that's TBD to be determined.
Hold on, the court drainage,
Yeah. so-
isn't that already built into the multi-sports court?
Yeah.
Back,
Oh,
park
that was for the, that might be for the back that we have to finish, for the corner. Series of basins that are in the back that we did 2 sections this summer,
all right,
then in the spring.
is that gonna be 30,000 if they're doing the
Oh, you
part
mean
down by
how-
the other court
Coming from the hill down on the existing court, yeah, all right. Makes sense.
for 30?
I hope you're doing it in-house, right? So you're just gonna materials cost.
Yeah, it would be less, it's probably, yeah,
It's probably 20.
20.
20?
We
And we
some-
have the FEMA project, I don't even know which area that was looking at, it wasn't looking at that, right?
Not that, but
Just the washed out areas,
FEMA was all the web of stormwater that went to the pond from the
all fields.
outfield, I guess the big outfield that goes all the way to the hill. It was all those lines.
Yeah, I couldn't answer that question Tuesday, so we'll talk about that at a different time.
So we currently have that 30,000 under grant funding. Should that be changed to general funding then? Since that's not part of FEMA,
That's not part of it,
so put it as to general.
unless it's getting, I think part of it's roped into the pickleball court drainage. No?
Yeah, no, I don't think that was the
No?
intent.
Okay.
It was really,
So leave it there? All right,
because you're gonna have a precast in that hill, right, Mario? You're gonna have some type of box, a precast that you're gonna build in the hill where the pipe comes out for the transition. into-
where does that land? Into the pond?
Everything
No.
lands into the
Well, yeah,
Okay.
eventually.
All right, so we do have a grant study out. We're doing the stormwater study of that area to get further grant funding for drainage. So just leave it.
So leave it under grant funding?
Yeah.
Leave it under grant funding. Anything else to be moved or changed? or
The
conversation?
stormwater, we have the study going on now, so it's in 2024, and the study will tell us what, so. And also the FEMA part that got washed out, so that's just a mixed up. Leave it alone.
This one?
Yeah, the
And
Ryder
the
stormwater
stormwater?
is,
It's
there's parts that,
TBD.
yeah, it's still,
So I would just
it's still
leave
TBD, okay.
And then tennis court crack repairs
Yeah.
at $25,000.
That's for the top court. We did it, I forget how many years it was around COVID, when we did it.
Right.
Color is starting to fade. We are starting to get surface cracks, nothing like
All right,
the
so
first time we did it.
if you do the cracks and then you repaint on top, right? And since we're doing the new court, it can be repainted to match. It will look freshly painted if we do it.
Yeah, but I thought we were doing different colors.
Well, it
Can
can be
change the
repainted
colors.
to, I mean, if you're painting it, you can paint it any color you want, right? So the 25,000 will cover the crack repair and the paint to
Painting.
match the new court. Okay, I'm for that. What do you think, Ken?
Or the other solution for that, since it is an older court, I mean,
Is
the
those
tiles, that's, I think we said it was like 100 something, 125,000.
To cover the court and
Right.
tiles? The older one.
You got what? So that'd be like 4 or 5 years. Not more than that.
But you did the tennis court?
Yeah, 4 years maybe,
Maybe.
For the painting of it
and the cracks.
and the crack. All right, do we have to fix the cracks before the
Yeah.
tiles down?
No, but if you do the tiles, you
You
won't,
would just fill, you wouldn't.
because with, right, depending on the severity of the cracks, you use a membrane. And then it's a process. You can
do
do
it
a membrane over we did it with a company Sealmaster. You get a guy and you rent all their equipment, but we do the work. And he's there to guide you. He works alongside with you. And it was cheaper than any other.
All right. Is that gonna be okay to where we want? I mean, do we need to do the tiles yet? You can always do the tiles, right?
No, I mean, yeah, that's your other option.
Okay.
Or every 5 to 6 years. or
So if
4 to 6 years,
we,
you're gonna have
since
to-
we're doing a lot, since we fill the cracks this year and in a couple years when,
You'll get,
3 years when that's shot again, then we'll go to the tiles and the tiles will still be able to be placed over it.
Mhm.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
So what signage did they want around those things? Remember the RAB wanted something signage around them? That's some pickleball court. Remember what? Was it a?
Signage around the pickleball courts?
Yeah, I don't remember from the RAB.
No fighting?
No, it was like, it wasn't just like sign you put on a fence. It was something that I guess was in place, but I gotta remember.
I don't remember.
All right.
So that's Ryder Park. Next up, we have Shoreline Park, LED lights for ball field at $325,000. Field fencing and concrete fence at $150,000.
So where are we finding that one?
I had just put that under debt financing, but I believe that this is all being moved from last year's capital project.
It's been moved for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
All right,
Just continuously being moved.
Yeah, can we get one more year out of them? The lights?
the lights, yeah,
You're right.
I mean, that's our last real field that really needs some TLC. I know fencing is, it's in bad shape.
All around.
I mean, more of the back, so you could probably split it. If you were to split it, I'd do the backstop and the long side, because the other thing is it's not high enough fence, there's no gates. It's, we're losing clay, so on that one, like the other field, I like to do the concrete, so I could, because every time it rains, the clay washes down to the pavilion. It's not as bad, but as it used to be, but
Same kind of work we did at Ryder, same kind of work we did at Ryder.
not netting though. It's
Not
our
netting.
annual bidder, yeah. I don't know why there's two. I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because there's field fencing and then there's the
Concrete
backstop and fencing.
Yeah.
Though the concrete would just be like
Underneath,
the
so you can-
mulch strip, yeah.
So you can.
But I handed you the quotes. That was.
Yeah, that's the $200,000 one that. we
Oh, so
handed
then
to
the
me.
150, what that comes out.
wait, 150 come.
I believe, because it's from Daniel Bitter, right? I give you that.
Tally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go get that and have it, just double check.
Yeah,
You
'cause
guys
there
can-
should
Wait,
be-
we're gonna move the lights one more year.
There
What was
should be
it?
two.
What was the fencing
They'll probably
estimate?
move like
I
one
believe
more.
it's the 200.
More, the only argument with the lights, well, there's two. One is you're gonna save on the tenant side quite a bit. And then two, every year you push it out, it's more expensive. So
As in the technology.
We're
changed
gonna
on
wanna
the
go
lights.
with,
the technologies change whereas they don't bleed over.
yeah, that's what I want is the dark
Yeah,
skies,
It's
the
only,
dark skies
Right.
technology.
So if you look at like Nelson Park, all that's lit up at that basketball court, and you step 15, 20 feet outside, and it's dark.
Right, so that's important for that area.
and when we started with that, it was like 250.
Yeah.
Yeah,
started at
Houses,
250.
wildlife,
no, I
trail.
know. It's gonna keep on going up, but
Yeah,
like you
so I
said.
mean, that's
like
just
savings.
two arguments in your head.
Yeah, but the
Savings.
savings, it would take 30 years to recoup or something, because I did this calculation.
So yeah, so like there was like
About the opposite.
1, 2, and then it says all the way at the end, budgetary pricing for all of the above work, 200,000.
Yeah, so it's 200.
For
So-
the, for what, both?
To get the fencing in the field?
For the fencing and the lighting?
No, 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 no.
Just the
Fencing and the
fencing and
concrete?
the concrete, I mean, on concrete footings and the fencing.
So
To keep the clay, keep the infield in.
Where did you get the estimate for the lights?
this has
must
just
be-
been being carried over.
About 300 years ago.
So it's probably.
No, when we started, it was 250.
Yeah.
And that's
So you
gone up.
played an update last year?
Yeah, this would just be the new fencing. That doesn't include the work we would do for the concrete. But that 150, that was old. That comes out.
So
And then you got
So it's not
another,
350,
wait a minute,
so
you got
it's-
another backstop and fencing in here
Yeah,
also.
200.
That's what I'm saying. That's,
That's duplicate then.
So you have duplicate.
yeah, there's
150,
two,
200 is the
there's,
same.
there's two prices for fencing. You should only be the 200,000.
Okay,
So,
so
okay,
take that one out.
so take out number
Take out
5,
Number two.
Number two.
take out number 2,
Correct.
okay?
And this is from our annual bidder. And then we would just have to do the concrete, mulch strip. It's like 90 feet on both sides. It'll only be on the backside. Then the outfield gets the mulch strip. Which we do have, I have to see how much we have left
Right,
over.
that field gets a lot of use for soccer also, right?
And
Is that
baseball,
hurting it?
baseball started using that too, because it's another 50, 70 field we have, and so they can play night games. So they, JCYS has started to use it.
Where were they using before?
They use Ryder Park, but to have night games. And for 50, 70, because we only have one other 50, 70 field, that's why they wanted to make the harder field in 50, 70. But the only other 50, 70 field we have is, Collier Field. They rent the field, I was gonna say rent that actually is on the, for softball.
What's the revenue from the fields go?
And there's a league on Sundays mornings, I think, softball league that rents it, no?
Mhm.
And football actually is up there too.
The revenue on Fairlock Field is not much. Because it's all, you have the town softball program, which is minimal. And then it's just used by the sports organizations that don't pay. So it's very little rentals.
And most of it's used, these are young youth organizations use it at nighttime, so they
Mhm.
need the lights. I mean, it needs lights, I understand, that. I know the cost of going
I
up,
mean, it has lights, but
they're not the best efficient lights, but. You change the poles and everything?
Yeah, they have to put new poles.
Because the problem, well, not the problem, but they're not high enough.
But we have enough electricity power capacity to, you don't need an upgrade up there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
They run
think
big
when they
wires.
looked at it, the power coming into the park was.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that, yeah.
That's good.
Plus there'll be fewer poles. It's not gonna
Yeah,
be,
and they
right
won't,
now you have 6 to 8 poles maybe.
yeah, they don't put LEDs on wooden poles anymore, so. it's-
that's the end of some money for that.
But we're definitely good with fencing in the backside. One or the other, that's makes sense.
We gotta find the money again.
So so the LED lights moving in one more year to 2026 or keeping it on? 25?
You gotta figure
One
out.
or the other.
Yeah.
Either
One or
you're
the other,
doing
so I think we gotta
fencing
do
or
the
you're
fencing
doing the
first.
lights.
Yeah. I think the fencing this year and then next year.
Lights
go-
gotta go out.
We'll
Okay,
do
so
more or less,
lights
get the
moving
lights
out to 2026,
And don't move it any past that.
fencing at $200,000 keeping for 2025.
When we ask Con Ed about the infrastructure, we'll also, for the charging station, we'll see if there's any incentive programs for this.
Okay.
Because it's a big draw of power, and they have it for the residential side, but I can't imagine them not having it for the municipal side.
That'd be great.
There's parks all over the place. They can be.
Maybe nicer has a great.
Maybe we could tell them we have a charging net, is there a charging station at our
No.
We'll approach them that way for a charging station.
And Con Ed
Lead
has
into
their
lights.
sun program, but we have to see if we're on, NICEAG or Con Ed for the bills. Apparently that makes a difference. If we could get $19,000 back for the solar on the, we'll talk about that in a second, but the solar on the Cedar Lane Art Center, but if it's NICEAG, which it is on NICEAG right now, we only get like 8,500 back. Because they're not part of that New York Sun where they take $1 out of everybody's municipal
Right.
bill.
I asked that question about the charging. Charging, they don't care. If you were in the Con Ed area, you're
Okay.
buying off NIPA,
Mhm.
which we do. We're
They're still
covered at-
supplying.
Yes, they're providing the delivery. You still get 50%.
Okay, good.
But I'd like to know what the lights,
Okay, I'd love to know that.
so I'll ask.
All right.
I would figure 15,000 for the whole strip and the concrete up for the fencing. 15,000 for the fencing for us, for the concrete and the most strips.
Plus 15,000.
So add 200,
15,
215 we
maybe
can,
total.
215. And includes, so it backs up in fencing and concrete,
And mulch.
and concrete and mulch.
No, most strips,
mulch strip,
most.
strip, MOW strip.
Are those panels inside or outside? The electric panels for
They're on
growth,
that pole on that lower.
They're outside, so outside
That
box.
green box.
on the pole.
and they look good?
The box doesn't look good.
The
I don't know
box
what
is just,
that
something to be, yeah,
No, but the actual
Yeah, it's
infrastructure is
in-
good, because it's gonna be less power, right? Once you switch over to LED, it's gonna be less power, so you're not gonna have to increase your service going in.
no, the service is
Instead,
good,
The
yeah.
box is okay.
The service was actually updated, I would say 10, 12 years ago.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Because we were having issues with the lights overheating. There was an issue there for a while. with the lights.
All right, so we won't go past 26 with this one. Try not to.
Okay, and then we have the sprinkler system at 25 grand and stairs to the aqueduct at 18,000.
You gonna put the sprinklers? I don't know. if we're- You gonna do the
That'd
sprinklers?
be, no, the contractor would have to do. But
There's gotta be grant
Maybe-
funding. There's
that
gotta
would
be
get
grant,
pushed out.
there should be grant funding for the
Push
stairs
it
to the
out.
aqueduct, no?
We'll
Push-
look at
push-
it, push it out for now.
And what about the stairs?
Those are one done.
Yeah, I
They're
think that-
dangerous.
And there should be grant funding from Conic Parks or one of these aqueduct preservation places, don't they have? 'Cause we're getting
I mean,
access
it's
to the
an
aqueduct
access
for a
point
walkway.
to the Croton.
What needs to be done?
The stairs that go up in the parking lot to get to the aqueduct. I think
To
it's
get
made out
to
of
the
railroad tie now, or
aqueduct trail.
Where?
The girl.
I know, but where?
back in the parking lot, center field, left center.
Second entrance,
Yeah.
all the way
Did you
into,
guys do something with stairs like 5 years ago?
You know, the Rider Park Brazilian and.
this one was like 10 years,
We did
15
stone
years,
steppers.
10, 12,
Way
How many
back
rides?
then.
10
are-
probably.
Huh?
How many rides?
Oh, like 8, 9.
No, there's
No,
more
it's
than
a
that.
lot.
There's
It's
like
like
15,
26,
26. Wow.
26, 27, I believe.
2 landings, or it's just
It's
26 straight? I thought it was like.
It depends, as you get to the top, there's a lot. I forget, I counted them.
You cut the grass to keep that clear? You have to cut
The
it?
sides, yeah, every now and then.
If that's cheap, they want to maintain the stairs. Well,
A railing,
meandering ramp.
But they go back and forth, that's
But then you need the space.
Whose
It's
property,
really difficult access.
whose property is it?
That's-
Ours or
it's
the
like-
It's ours onto the,
Is it
old,
ours? or
old
state
Croton
parks?
Aqueduct.
But there's 50-foot
It
buffer.
was
also.
a Eagle
Parks?
Scout project to give an access ramp, and it's very handy for us to be able to, residents use it. A lot of residents use it to go up and walking on the aqueduct, because there's really no parking. And, since the whole unique area, they've been taking away any kind of parking for the aqueduct, so.
I would like to do it at stone steppers. They do it once and.
But they have rules around the aqueduct, right? They have to stay away, the buffer, 25, 50 feet, can't put it on permanent or.
No,
No, they're not gonna be set, they're just placed, you're not moving them unless you have a machine, but it's not permanent, they're not cemented in. You ever see Rider Park Pavilion or the Girl Lake Pavilion, those blue steppers?
keeping in mind, it's still live there, right? It's still live, it's still water in the aqueduct at that point, so it's.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's another level of scrutiny that they're gonna get, but I just,
Even if you just pour the gravel back in the
Yeah.
wood boxes.
But the railroad ties are rotted. They need to be replaced.
Anyway, I think that project people are using it, whether it's safe or not, so I think we should.
I mean, but do you want to check with New York State Parks
Mhm.
and see if it's them?
It's New York State Parks has the aqueduct trail, right?
it's not gonna be them. Because everywhere in the town and the village, the maintenance falls to the.
Oh, no, it's ours. We built it.
They're not gonna,
A scout built
They
it.
don't consider that their property?
we do tree work there, we do maintenance of the trail, it's hard to maintain, right?
Yeah.
It's still maintain the aqueduct properly. so that's the aqueduct. And they don't even really do that, because it's leaking and they don't. Here.
We had a house get flooded out at 5 Quaker Bridge, and we put a little wall up to kick it back out in the road. The guy called up about it from the state parks.
Yeah,
He didn't like that. And we didn't take it down, but,
yeah,
so they're out there.
yeah,
And
it's just,
I had to put a new gas line in a Cataract when I was chief, and I went through state parks because we crossed the aqueduct from Spring Street instead of Waller Avenue. So,
yeah,
yeah, they do look at trees and stuff,
But
but
whether they take accountability is a different story.
No,
yeah.
they just get mad.
I think we should look at an alternative access. I mean, stairs, just a liability. Whenever you can get rid of stairs and replace it with a path or something that's less. to maintain.
That's a steep hill.
No, you have to do, you almost do it so it's ADA compliant too.
Like a switchback.
You gotta do.
That would be great, but that's a huge project.
Or you get access somewhere else and tell them, this is where you access the trail. The trail runs along the back end.
It's all,
Crossover.
There's
Yeah.
almost no access to that trail.
you can make it happen
Parking
there,
access.
because it's really not, it's all fines and stuff, but you're gonna be.
Those are the ones.
You're probably gonna have like 4 or 5 ramps that go up,
What's that
4
gonna
or 5
cost us?
sections. Well, depends on who does it.
Unless you do trails,
More
like you do
than
Ryder
18,000.
Park, you do trails like you do Ryder Park that lead into there.
You just go look at it. That's all I'm saying.
Take a look at it. Yeah.
But you two can go look and see what the possibilities are.
It's past
Have a
passes, you
conversation.
can do it with wood chips. So you're not putting the burden, you're not putting the dead load on there.
Yes, Thomas.
Well, if you wanna make it ADA compliant,
Putting a trail like that. you
No.
don't have to- don't have to worry
Definitely
about
not ADA.
it.
No.
People ride their bikes on there, it's easier to get down a trail.
So you don't
than it
worry
is
about
with a
ADA
bike and stairs,
accessibility.
too.
You're not coming from an ADA.
I see more
you're
bikers
not
than I
from
see
an ADA area.
ADA.
It's just, if you just make a passing trail with the wood chips or something,
All right,
it's just easier and less, easier for you guys to maintain, you don't have to worry about maintaining steps.
all right, so look at it,
No,
see what you.
oh, we
makes
don't
sense.
show anyway.
there's stairs.
All right, moving on.
Next we have West Johnson Park for retaining wall at $40,000.
That,
That-
hopefully you have,
If that ever gets.
That's what
done,
FEMA.
they can- right, then that price is way low.
Should I change it to?
what do you, that price is way low? Yes.
Yeah, because the problem with that, where the pipes come in, you're losing a lot of ground from the stormwater.
Oh, we lost a lot of ground from the stormwater, that's why we're trying to get them to put it back. I don't know if they're gonna accept that one.
Okay. Yeah, so that one's being changed just to grant shipping, okay? Next, we have Lewis Engle Park. And this is for the park relocation, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Everything has been moved over a year again from last year. So phase 1, we have grant funding and general funding at $72,500 each for 2025. For phase 2, moving into 2026, for grant and debt financing at $287,500 and the same amount for grant funding matches. And then the relocation phase 3, the grant funding for 2027, $75,000 and debt financing at $75,000, the same thing. And then for the stage, so the grant funding is gonna be divided into which grants are giving us what. So we have for Crest grant, $125,000. And then we're having the DRI having given us $600,000, which brings us to the $725,000 in 2025.
We're not putting the other crest in there yet.
It hasn't been, you said
Okay,
it hasn't been awarded or what is it?
So that's all being used towards the stage.
Yes.
We have to get to
that's all the grant,
1.2
yes.
million for that one.
And then the debt financing is to be determined, and that's going to cover the remainder, but it's the cost of the stage. And then we had gotten a request from Mario to put fencing at the spray park, and that estimate from Spitali as well came to $11,440.
So you wanna redo the whole fence?
The poles will be staying,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We just paint them. and then it's the mesh, it's more the wear and tear on the mesh part. People leaning, kids pushing up against it, it bending, stretching it the way it's not supposed to be. So it's a thicker gauge wire, and then adding a mid rail to prevent that. Kind of as we did on the ball field.
What do you think, Joe?
Well,
Is it that bad? Can it go another year?
They could probably go another year. I mean, if anything, we'll just have them come and just see what we could do, just to retie certain areas and stuff.
So let's push that one out, to see if we can get some.
2026?
And then as the whole park is evolving.
Yeah.
And our road construction.
And that brings us to the end of our capital project. And next up is the deed totals, but these totals are all gonna be fixed in with the new updates that have been provided.
Can you break down, when we get to the updates of what's coming out of the municipal budget, what's coming out of your.
It is,
I've counted
general
the guess.
Oh, there you
debt,
go.
yeah, at the bottom, yeah, and then the italicized is.
All
right, Ed.
All right, Ed, have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
You got my brother.
Have any other?
I'll make some
All right,
calls
thank you.
and,
You done? Okay,
Okay,
good.
thank you, hold on.